Hey guys, this is Chelsea, also known as the Unconventional Shell. I'm chilling with Josiah with Cocktails with Josiah.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Josiah, and you are watching another episode of Cocktails with Josiah. Hey, what's up, guys? This is your boy Josiah with Cocktails with Josiah, and guess what? I have my good friend Chelsea here today. She is an entrepreneur. She has her own book club. She is a foodie, traveler, blogger. Hi, Chelsea. How are you?
Good. Finally.
Finally, listen, y'all. Let me tell y'all something, okay? The devil has been trying every way to attack us for not filming this episode. Like the first time, it was the car situation that was happening with me, and then it was just like, life, exactly.
Life.
But it's a new year, new mindset, new focus.
2020.
Back to it.
2020.
Okay, so I know I introduced you, but unless you want to do like your own little formal introduction, let the audience know who you are.
Shucks, I think you did it all. Literally, I'm like, you know how there's like a master of none? I feel like I'm pretty much getting better of everything I'm doing.
Yes.
Because I feel like as a tree, you branch out and you want to reach and do different things, especially, doing things for the community and, bettering yourself. And that's what I'm doing right now.
Absolutely. One of the reasons why I reached out to you was because I love your work. I know we met actually, indirectly met at one of the events last year for, I think you worked with the social complex. Yes, for mental health, and I was just out at how the panel was, and you and the guys, and just the questions that were asked. It was amazing. Like, let's kind of get deep into that a little bit. How did you meet them, and why is mental health so important to you?
Wow. First, how we met off. I do have my book club called The Feminine Vigor, which is like one of the, to me, like, I just feel like that's my place to be myself. I can escape and be around the women who just love to read and read about women that's really strong and strong protagonists, and I want to put at that as an event. And one book that we were talking about was about rape culture, and it was stemming from the aspect from men, from women. Like, it's more than just like one type of person who's just going through it. So I was like, okay, how do I turn the club into an actual event where I can actually get everybody together? And one of the few people I was thinking about, I was like, I need a male perspective. And because again, it's not just happening to just women. Like, sexual violence is happening to everybody. It doesn't matter, like, it doesn't have an age, it doesn't have a color, it's non-discriminatory. So one thing I was like, okay, let me see who's out there. Let me see, going around Instagram, and I realized, I was like, oh, I'm following these guys. I like what they do. So I DM'd them. Slid in the DMs, but not that way.
Right. DMs. Okay, my bad.
And I just blatantly asked them, I was like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Do you want to be a part of it? And they was like, yeah, like, it's an honor. And I was like, oh.
Come on, honor.
Like, hearing that, and I was like, oh, little old me, like, doing something like that, and to see the full focus of it, and just to see you guys come out to it, and everyone, like, telling their story on it, I was like, wow, like, this is something I never thought would happen.
Listen, let me say this very briefly. You don't really see black men talk about sexual assault. And mainly in the black community, it's something that's not spoken of. So
it's under wraps.
To see a black masculine male and just a real black man on the front pedestal just talking about this is so good, and it's much needed for our community. And I was also loving the questions that was actually asked.
Now, everything we were doing, to be honest, was just like on top of the head, right? Like, of course, I sent like a little script on different topics we were going to be talking about, but I didn't expect them to come out the full gate just on their experiences. I did not expect that. When they was like, hey, this is what I went through. And it's like, oh, so it's going to be that type of conversation, which is something that I wanted. And I was kind of a little bit nervous, like, how are we going to get people to open up? And just seeing that just floor just opened up with
The
everybody.
vibe,
The
the
vibe,
spirit.
it was like, okay. And I just, I want to open the floor. I just want to have that atmosphere. People can be themselves and talk about it. Because how can we break through from it and we don't even try to comfort ourselves to like actually be open? So that was.
That's so true.
People are looking forward to the next one.
Yes. Well, listen, I'm looking forward to, like, for real.
It is coming again in April.
April.
Plug. There's something about that month, of course. It's my birthday month, but I see it as more of a
Mine
rebirth.
too. What day is your birthday?
18.
18. So you're so you're an Aries.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an Aries too. April the 13th. Oh my god, this is an iconic moment, y'all.
Didn't know.
Okay, I'm like, wait, now April, is she a Taurus or an Aries? Okay.
Don't even put me.
That's why.
That.
Oh my god, yes, I love Aries. We are the most dopest people, like ever. People be sleep.
We can vibe with everybody.
We can.
To be honest, we can vibe with everybody.
We can be misunderstood sometimes, but
misunderstood.
we get along with everybody.
Now, when it comes to our realness and our adventurism, people question it, but other than that, like, we fun people.
Yeah,
like, don't put us Aries down. You need an Aries in your life.
You need an Aries in your life.
Hashtag.
Every friend need an Aries.
You need an Aries in your
Right,
life.
get that life. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is your blog and your book club. So let's talk about that. How did that come about?
Well, first was the blog. I was going through a time in my life where I was like, Chelsea, this is not a good place right now, like mentally. Like, how do we move forward? Because I was lost. I was in the industry of clothing retail, and I thought I was going to be like a buyer because that's what I went to school for. And that world, let me tell you, it's a cutthroat world. Like, it's very competitive. People don't care about you. They'll step on your face to get to the top. Like, that's just how it is when it comes to the retail game. And, I was blessed to be, part of things like, Saks and Nordstrom and work with those type of people, even, in the other aspect, like Urban Outfitters, and like seeing those two different type of worlds. And it's like, okay, me, I'm not that. I don't see myself in corporate world. I don't see myself in fashion corporate world.
I don't need a child. I'm like, one day, Lord, I'm going to get out of corporate America. One day.
But that's what I wanted for myself. And you go by this step-by-step plan. Like, this is plan 1, graduate. Plan 2, get a career. Plan 3, family, marriage, all that stuff. And life was not working out like that. And I realized I can't plan life. So I was like, okay. So what do I do? And the first thing I wanted to do was to like get out, because I was being depressed. I was going to alcoholism. Like, I was just doing everything to escape my reality. So I was like, okay, how do we do this? I started to solo travel. And I was like, yep. A lot of people want to not do it, but I suggest try it once. And I feel like that's a great self-discovery moment. And the first place I wanted to go was to New Orleans.
New Orleans. I heard New Orleans is a great place for creatives to go to and kind of get there. I heard a lot of positive things about New Orleans.
And I still say that New Orleans is my second home. When I was
second home.
I love Houston. I'm an H-Town girl to the fullest, but if I was to go to anywhere, move to anywhere, I would go to New Orleans. Like, the people, the vibe, the culture, the food, all that is just beautiful. And for them to open their arms to me was like, wow. Like, they thought I lived there. And I learned a lot. And I started to build more with that. And the blog came about. I was like, okay, you know what? I feel like I'm not the only one going through it. So let me see if I can chronicleize it. And that's when I was like, hey, let's start the blog. And then Unconventional Shell came about, because at first it was some stupid name I thought of, my old Twitter name, Blueprint.
Blogging is therapy, man. Blogging is definitely a form of therapy.
Yeah, at first I was a little bit nervous. I'm like, do I really want to open myself up to people like that? But again, that's just me being selfish. That's how I looked at it. Like, how can I help people if they don't know my story? So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and start the blog and, do the travel. And the next year I wanted to do something with reading, because that was another form of my escape. I love to read, and I was like, I wonder, do anyone else like to read more than me?
You were shook it, huh? And your wig flew back. You was like, ooh, all these people love to read. It's a whole club out there.
I was like, oh, I wonder. And I really haven't seen much of a book club, like an all-female book club in Houston. I maybe know like 1 or 2, but that's it. And I was like, okay.
You don't really hear about
You really don't hear it. I didn't hear about it until I started mine. So this started like maybe 2 years ago. We celebrated 2 years in November, this past November.
Come on, 2 years. Woo!
Yay. And I just did a canvas. I did like a canvas little flyer, just made a little flyer, like, hey, if you interested in joining the Feminine Vigor, hit me up in my DM, call me, email me. And I got like at least maybe 15, 20 like replies back within like a week. And I was like, oh, so people do want to be around people like me.
Yes. It's look clubs, everybody is so much into like, you know, the hip hop groups and all these different types of connections and stuff, but you don't really hear about them. You know how us Aries are. Other times be mad as hell, like, oh, he keep bringing up Aries.
But it's a thing, though.
It's a thing. We always think outside the box, and we're just different.
Yeah.
Different breed.
And that's the thing, like, I'm not going to create anything that I'm not able to relate to. Because I just see it as being like, fake. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I was trying to find another word for it, but I can't.
It is.
So, but the fact that I can be relatable to like people with different races and different, you know, statuses of life, whether you're married or single, I was like, okay, you know, we can work this out. And the first meeting was awesome, and then now here we are, and we're just still striving. We're still going forward, and I'm excited for what's coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how it all came about.
Yes, like for real. I'm gonna take it back just a little bit because I know you said solo traveling. Let's talk about traveling. Traveling is something that, you know, even for myself that I'm just starting to get used to, you know, going to different, like I have a few plans tripped out going to Dallas and
Do you
LA.
go by yourself? You go to group?
You know what? I'm not a huge group guy. Now, I wouldn't mind going to a group, but with my traveling with friends, it's very difficult because everybody, you know how your friends are. I love y'all. Y'all know who y'all are, but they be back and that, no tea, no shade, but it's just
I can accept that too.
Right. It's just like, okay, you know, oh yeah, we gonna do this. And, you know, they're the main ones who have all the ideas, right? Like, oh, we're gonna go ahead and do this. We're gonna hang out. And then be like, I can't do it. And I'm just like, okay, it's just
our hopes are just falling to the ground.
So why is it important to travel and meet different people?
Well, I've always been a person who loves to learn. I think life is just a learning experience. And of course I just don't like to be in the box. And being a part of a family who don't like to travel much, who likes to stay within the neighborhood, I'm like, there's gotta be more to life than this. And to experience different cultures, experience different cuisine, because like he said, I'm a foodie, okay? I ate everything almost, except for Brazilian. I haven't done it.
Oh, you don't eat Brazilian?
No, I've done Chinese, Japanese, Sichuan. I even went to Paris and had food there.
What is your favorite dish of all your favorite dishes? Like of all the different types of foods?
Wow, that is a toughie. Wow. I would say the top one. I will never forget when I went to Paris. I went with a group, but they had this lamb. I never ate lamb in my life. Let me tell you, that was the most juiciest lamb. Lamb chop. Yes, it was beautiful with the greens and the potatoes, and they weren't even like little. It was like a nice, massive size plate with this escargot, like snails, mixed in with a white wine butter sauce. I would never forget.
Come on, white wine butter sauce. That sounds delicious.
Just marinate.
The way that you describing it just want to make me just spend my paycheck and just go get a lamb at this point, seriously.
Man, and as far as dessert, like you got to stop by Cafe Du Monde and get some beignets.
Ooh.
You have to, New Orleans, you have to. That's like the thing to do right off of Peter Street.
I'm actually going to New Orleans at the end of the month, so I'm super excited about that. My first time going, I have not been to New Orleans yet, so.
Oh, I can tell you the best gumbo.
Gumbo, oh yes.
You want some good gumbo? Gumbo shop.
Gumbo shop, okay.
Yes, it's in the quarter. But it's in the far end, like 2 blocks away from Cafe Du Monde. So after you're done, just walk 2 blocks, get you some beignets with a chicory coffee, and just eat it right there, like in the midst of the Mississippi River.
So guys, the next topic that we're actually going to be talking about is self-care and mental health. Listen, mental health is one of my personal favorite topics to talk about. I pretty much bring it up with all of my guests because it's so important to take care of ourselves and to know our limits. What does self-care mean to you?
When I think about self-care, I think about just me, like the fact that I matter, I care. It's like and not being selfish about it. Because it's not being selfish, because who is going to take care of everybody if you can't take care of yourself? So when I think about self-care for me, it's like having dates with myself, having quality time with myself, going to the movies and just basking in the quietness and just being like within like the environment. I feel that when I do my personal self-care, I'm aware of more things, you know? It's like less distractions.
Yes.
And one thing I really love about it is that I'm a spiritual person.
Me too.
I feel as if, you know, literally like the spirit is talking to me.
Come on, Spirit.
Yes.
Let them use you. Let them
use me. But I think everyone should actually take care of themselves. I think there'll be less death if people take care of themselves.
Yes.
Because nowadays everyone is, you know, there's suicides, there's heart disease, all that relates to stress. And I believe stress is related to not taking care of yourself.
That's true. Like the anxiety, man, there's so many people that I know personally that deals with anxiety, you know. I have a mild case of it, but I know there's a lot of people that deals with depression, anxiety. Like, it's crazy how now, like, so many people are dealing with it. So self-care is definitely important. Like you said, just even taking 5 minutes out to just sit in the tub with some bubbles, like rubber run.
Literally distraction less, like cutting off your phone, like turn off the TV, like only like what I do, I literally tell one person where I'm at. Just one person. Because of course if it's an emergency, it's like okay. And like when it comes to like numbers, there's even a little thing where certain numbers can dial out to you and everything else is blocked out. Let me tell you, that privacy setting is amazing.
It's lit, huh?
It is lit. As soon as you turn that button on.
Yeah, I feel you. And listen, like you said, privacy setting is really good.
I use that to the fullest.
Seriously. So as far as like self-care and also mental health, like, you know, I know that you said like self-care is very important as far as just shutting out everything, but what about your friends? I know sometimes you have them friends, like it's like you're constantly going with them. How about the people, does self-care, well, does your mental health also value around like the type of friends that you have, but sometimes your friends can kind of get you in that anxiety, you know, always going out, doing something and not really taking care of yourself? Does that play a part in it?
It does play a part. I know from past experience, I had to like move and, you know, do some chess moves with some friends in my past life. See who's gonna be in it, who's not. Like if you don't bring any positivity, if you don't bring anything that's gonna lift me up and just challenge me to do better. Cause we know we do have, you know, we don't want no yes men. I don't want no yes men. And at the same time, I don't want nobody who's like all the way hardcore with me. You gotta show that grace and that love too.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, it does play a huge part. Like when they say birds and feathers flock together, that thing is real. Because if you're going through, and you know, sometimes misery loves company, they want you to feel it too. Like as you grow, maturity should grow with you.
Absolutely.
And I have a circle of friends. I'm telling you, I am just blessed by them. I tell them almost every day I'm in love with them. And it's like only like 4 of them. And I'm cool with that because when you get older, you realize quantity doesn't matter. It's all about the quality of the person.
It does.
And I've learned that through college. And I learned that through even my adult life. And of course, I believe in people who are covering and surrounding me with prayer and always, you know, checking on me, being accountable. Like those are the ones you should surround yourself with.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
you can't tell your business to everybody. You just cannot. You have to have that 1 or 2 accountability people who just should know who you are and help you through that. Because everybody can't travel down the same road as you. And that's one of the things I've learned when it came to self-care, because you also have to think about, you know, putting that stress on certain people. And then again, like, talking to too many people, that's how your stuff brings out and comes out.
I learned
So,
that. There was a time with myself, like I was always, you know, I just was not happy. Like, I think recently I just kind of got to the point where I have really had a long sit down talk with God. Like, God, like, I am not happy with my life right now. Remove anything that's negative and help me to become a better person. People just start dropping off like flies.
Man.
The power of prayer is so serious, and also meditating and hearing his word, like we're just hearing. You know, people like, what are you talking about? Like, I know for me, one thing for self-care, guys, is having a conversation with God and just being vulnerable. You know, this is how I talk to God. You know, some people like, dear Heavenly Father, such
and it doesn't have to be like that.
Yeah.
It's literally like talking to your best friend.
Yes, exactly.
It don't have to be this big old introduction like, gracious and Heavenly Father, I come to you and humble knee, bow down. Like, it don't have to be like that. It can just be like the way we talking.
Yes.
And that's one thing that he like definitely loves about us, is that openness, that vulnerability, and just being real. Even though he knows, he wants us to know, like, hey, I can be real with you.
Exactly.
So
that's a beautiful thing. I know I also pray for discernment as well, because when I pray and I meditate and I just sit still, I ask for discernment, and that's how I kind of get leaded by my ideas and everything. You know.
Let me tell you, always like, you know what, God, even though when it comes to different things that he's powerful, he's amazing, he is a creator.
Yes.
People need to miss out on that. He is like the ultimate creator. Like the creative, like he created the heavens, the earth, and all that stuff. Like, and that in itself is just beauty right there. So he knows what I've been going through. He knows what you're going through. Creators got closer. I think creators got a closer part with him.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Yes, exactly.
If you're creative, you're closer to God. That's all I'm saying.
No, for real.
No, I'm just saying, it's a little jokey joke, but that's all I'm saying. Like, I'm closer.
Yeah. You're so funny. So, has there been a time in your life where your mental health just was not it, and how did you overcome it?
Whew. Ooh, let me tell you.
You know, we don't have to go, I gotta fix my life. Just surface or whatever.
Oh no, because I believe that with my honesty, like when it comes to my story, I believe that I can change lives. And that's the thing, you just cannot be selfish with your story. You just cannot be, because the person next to you may be like searching for something and you're that breakthrough for them. You just never know. So one instance I will never forget, college, something about college, y'all. College life is, if you're in college, bless you, if you're going through. But my freshman year, I would say I had like a prodigal son moment. I was out and about, you know, hanging with the wrong crew, drinking, partying, clubbing, extra stuff I've been doing, you know, letting it loose, hanging it out. And I just went through a point, in a breaking point in my life. It was like, this cannot be what my life is all about. This cannot be it. And all the things that I thought were real, all the people I thought were my friends and my boyfriend then, like, they started to turn on me. And it was really sad, because I was going through something like so traumatic when it came to my self-esteem, my self-worth. Because when it comes to college, that's where you truly, you know, find your identity.
Yes.
And my first time away from home, and, you know, just, you know, trying to find myself. And people, you know, sometimes take advantage of that. And they want to, like, warp your mind, and not let that happen to me. And just reaching out for help didn't. Like, all my friends were talking about me, you know, they turned their back on me, and they had like a little secret meeting saying, hey, you changed. Like, no, I apparently, yes, I'm depressed. Like, what you mean? Oh, well, you work on that and we're gonna do us. And I basically got exiled from the group. And my boyfriend, he was like, yeah, you're a little bit too hard to deal with, so I'm just gonna bounce. And I'm like, oh, dang. Like, why is everybody leaving me? And then this whole, you know, alcoholism, I didn't want to eat. It was to the point where I was dropping so many pounds that my clothes barely fit on me anymore.
Alcoholism?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was drinking like nobody's business. Everclear was like a dear friend. The Everclear and Southern Comfort was like friends to me, because the previous one I had wasn't any good, so hey, let them be my friend. And I didn't want to eat. I dropped pounds. My clothes didn't fit me anymore. It's to the point where people started asking questions like, are you okay? I'm like, dang, do I look that bad? And I was like, oh, right, my clothes look baggy on me now. And I stopped going to class, and, you know, I had to call my mom. And my mom came out from Houston to Huntsville, because I was going to school out in Sam Houston. Yep. And she met me. She had to meet me at our favorite Chinese buffet in Conroe, which is our middle point. And she was telling me, she was like, Chelsea, you gotta eat.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm crying. I'm like, I don't want to eat. And she's like, baby, you gotta eat. You cannot let this defeat you. But fast forward, I came back to the school, and I was like, okay, I need to join somebody who's like all positive energy. So I joined like the Baptist ministry, and I was like, okay, let's see what I can do. I've always been a dancer. Let's go ahead and do the dance team, do the praise dance. And that's when I started to like get my groove back in things, because you know I went back to my first love, my dancing, and being around people who were similar to me, and you know, who will walk with me, who will cry with me, who will pray for me. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is what I've been missing. And I was still off and on with the same boyfriend who was up and wanted to leave me. And God made it so clear, it was like, yeah, you two need to break up. I was like, I don't believe that.
Right.
But, and this is a time where, you know, I'm in a Baptist ministry now, and we were having relations, and I was like, look, gonna be celibate. He was like, oh yeah, I can't do that. And that's when we broke up again. And I was like,
and that was like a good time, like the.
I was like, oh, so that's what our relationship was about, since we're breaking up because of that? And he's like, yeah. And I went away to competition with him, and everybody kept saying to me, they're like, I don't know what you need to do, but you need to let go. Everyone just kept telling me, let go, let go. And I'm like, why are they reading me right now?
You know, church people give you a good old down gutter, you know, good reading. Get you together.
I was like, shut up. And I kept hearing it. And I even had a dream about it, and I was like, okay, God, this must be really you.
Yeah.
So I came back from the trip, and he was like, you know what, I'm so sorry, we need to work this out. And I was like, I just told him straight up, I'm like, hey, God don't want us to be together. And from that point on, I just been building and just kicking down doors, and just, cause literally, I think it was that team I had, and literally my mom's prayers and everyone who's behind me just pushing me through, cause I wouldn't have made it through college without them. Yeah. Cause honey, them people are cruel.
Oh yeah.
The Baptists, they can be cruel. And I learned about friendship, because at one point I lost all trust when it came to friendships. But the fact that I don't have friendships now, but a sisterhood, is like,
that's beautiful.
That's next level.
That's next level stuff. Exactly.
That's next level. And still to this day, I am friends with the people who I was, you know, praise dancing with. My best friend was a part of that. And my other close friends are a part of that same praise dance circle. So
that's beautiful.
So the fact that we are still connected and still bonded after like 10 years is that's true right there. That's true. Know who your friends are, look and see who's around you.
Exactly.
Like,
that's really good. Friends does play like a huge part in, you know, you're overcoming whatever that you're going through. That's beautiful.
Shout out AOL.
Come on, shout out. Yes. So tell me what's next for Shells?
Let me tell y'all something. When it comes to Chelsea is going to do things bigger and better each time I come around. And one thing I'm truly excited about is not only the new intimate conversations.
More intimate.
Yes, it's going to be another one coming out in April, like y'all heard earlier. And this topic, which I'm dropping it here on Cocktails with Josiah, is going to be called Daddy Issues.
Daddy Issues. Ooh.
Oh yeah, it's going to be spicy.
This is gonna be good. This is gonna be iconic in April, right?
In April.
I gotta listen. The boy gotta definitely shoot me the date. Shoot me that date. For real.
This is where you just you know,
right.
Just straight onto that. That's one right there. So I have that coming, and I have a book drive that I'm doing with the book club, where I'm going to be passing out free books to the community of kids, definitely in underserved communities like 5th Ward, 3rd Ward. And that's coming around in May. But this big news is, it's funny how you say entrepreneur, because I'm stepping like way out my comfort zone. I am going to be a coffee shop owner.
Woo! Yes! That's what's up. Come on now.
And it's going to be called the Bold Brew District. district. You know, standing out here in front of you guys.
Okay, come on now.
This is like for real stepping out on faith.
Yes.
And literally starting a place where, because I love coffee. I just always been around
Coffee has been my
shops.
best friend.
Coffee is my new alcoholism. Like, I love a good espresso. And I wanted to create an atmosphere where everyone from creatives, from people who just need community, just to be a part of something grand, because it's going to be more than just a coffee shop. And since I'm a foodie, it's going to be some small plates. It's going to be some Texas mixed with Louisiana tradition, specialty cuisine, since that is my background. I am from Texas, but my family is from Louisiana. So you're going to see some shrimp and grits. You're going to see some special beignet days, along with your chicory coffee. And it's going to be a place where people can meet up. People can, you know, have events and, you know, build community events. Because I really want to be a big part of the community of Houston.
Yeah.
And branch out to, who knows, more franchises.
Come on. So thank you so much for just taking the time out with your boy Josiah, you know, sipping over our cocktails, our margaritas.
I'm honored.
This is going to be an amazing year. We are manifesting 2020. This is going to be wonderful.
Going up.
Big moves. And, you know, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually drop her information down here below. Make sure you all like, subscribe, and comment to the content. And you're watching Cocktails with Josiah, and we are out. Peace.